We've had a few manga finish in the last 12 months and even more starting and cancel before they could get going. So I'm always interested to hear people's thoughts on new manga, though comments like "this won't last long" or "this has potential" are thrown around as early as chapter 1, which is pretty ridiculous if you ask me, because you're basing it off of series that you've read in the past or how you want the current series to turn out. I feel people are too quick to pass judgment and don't give time for the series to be its own. Anyways, here are 2 new manga that I've read recently. I started reading Candy Flurry simply based on this image. My first thought was, why is there a giant lollipop and is this girl going to smack this cake dude with it? The latter is yes, and the former a yoink and twist of popular power series. Instead of something like the devil fruit which grant the eaters superpowers, we have the appropriately named Toy Candy, giving eaters the ability to wield lollipops like axes, bondage donuts, and macaroon-eating humans. The premise is interesting enough. 5 years ago, Tokyo was destroyed by one of the candy users with the ability to use lollipops. The user was never caught, and like most action shonen, each candy is unique and never duplicated. Our protagonist, Tsumugi, has said lollipop ability, and wasn't the one who destroyed the whole of Tokyo. As such, she keeps herself to herself in hopes to keep her ability a secret. Obviously, we know that doesn't last very long, otherwise it wouldn't make for an interesting series. She's soon under suspicion by Misake, who's part of the sweet police named Recette. Recette or recette means recipe in French. I see what they did there, and it's clever, but just not funny. The art style feels like something out of the early 20s. Not so that that's a bad thing, because I get real Katekyo Hitman vibes from the character designs. But being young kids in an action series doesn't fit so well in my opinion. Then again, it's clearly targeted to a much younger audience. There's not really a lot happening between the panels and pages, and the pacing's kind of slow, but for the most part it's okay. Now, my knowledge in romance is minimal, and I've read 0 sports manga, unless you consider Bakuman a sports manga, in which case I've read 1. So I was surprised when I sat down to Blue Box and finished the first 3 chapters within minutes. Our main character Taiki has a crush on his senpai, Chinatsu, who plays for the school basketball team. Taiki watches her practice pretty much every day whilst he too practices in the gymnasium with his badminton team. We follow Taiki and Chinatsu as they become closer and closer with one another, and though early days we can see a wholesome friendship blossom. It's cliche in the sense that Taiki doesn't express his feelings right away. Rather than telling her outright, we experience the same tropes in most romance manga, and at this moment we're not really too sure if Chinatsu likes Taiki back. There's a little twist in the first chapter, which is probably the reason why I continued reading, so I won't spoil anything. The art is nice and clean and the panels are very well done. We get a lot of inner monologue from Taiki, giving you a better understanding of his personality and his feelings. The facial expressions of the characters are really expressive and again, giving you a better understanding on how characters feel. It's also in no way ecchi, which I appreciate. Well, there is this one small panel, but other than that, it's pretty wholesome. So far, it's more about the relationship and less about the sports, which I'm sure will become a bigger part as we continue. I'll more than likely keep up with this one, more so than Candy Flurry. It's crazy how Jump are cycling through all these mangaka. I understand that, the series needs to make a profit and future plans, etc. for anime and merchandise. I'm just upset about Phantom Seers still. Anyways, I've recently released my manga that have been in storage for the past 2 or 3 years, so I'm looking to reread those, but I'm also looking to pick up some new series, so if there's anything of interest in the past couple of years, maybe 3-4 years that have caught your eye, let me know and I'll see if I can check it out.